Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed and I'm a third year industrial engineering student, and this summer I had the opportunity to go to South Africa for the RSM 395 consulting course. This was my first time in South Africa actually. It was my second time in Africa, but for almost everyone else that went, it was their first time in Africa. To be honest, the place we were staying at was quite impressive actually. Like, it could be compared to like a waterfront stay down here. But of course, South Africa has its struggles, and we got to see some of that in the townships when we were working there. I think I was positively surprised, if anything. Like, I've been to Uganda, and well, not expecting that, but I knew it'd be a little better. And to my surprise, like, we had everything we needed. We had access to internet and like a great place to stay, as well as like awesome people that took us around, and like we were all taken care of while we were there, and I thought that was pretty impressive. So the program actually works in a very cool way where for first week you spend a lot of time in classrooms, but during those evenings you're allowed to go wherever you want, and your weekends are free. There are some planned trips, so you'll be partnered up with a tourism company who will take you around to basically like the best touristy things to do there. So for our time there, I think we definitely traveled a lot. It did. So I think that learning in classroom is like one thing, and like that's 90% of what we do at university anyways. But to be like actually out in the field and to be like interacting with like real clients, I think it adds an extra layer of realism to what you'll be doing in real life when you're outside of university. So I think this course kind of like gives you that, with also a lot of aid from and support from the staff. No, I didn't actually. I didn't know anyone that was taking that course actually. But as you can guess, like by the end of it, like we're all pretty good friends. So our class size was 12. I think the maximum cap is 15, just because of the logistics that work out in South Africa and how they can make teams and stuff there. But yeah, 12 to 15 I think is what they prefer. We did. So the professor is actually staying with us. So we did 1 week of classes in Toronto, so at U of T, before we left. So that was just to give us like a little bit of introduction about South Africa and tell us a lot about social enterprises and the stuff that we might encounter, and kind of like a heads up to like, hey, look out for this. And then when we were there, Professor Anne, who's amazing, who's also part of the whole trip, she was like helping us wherever she could, but she's like very frank about it. She's like, if you do run into problems, like the better people to ask are the navigators and the locals there for help than me. So she's very open, and she's kind of like told us, okay, here, go ahead, be your world. So I think we talked a lot about South Africa in itself, and it's hard to say if knowing any of the things that I learned while there would have actually helped. I really do think like it's like as you go along you learn, but a little bit more, I think, knowledge on what kind of stuff to bring would have helped. I think in some ways I overpacked, and in some ways I underpacked, so that's something that would have helped. So we got to witness like two very different like weeks. So the first week we were there, it was quite hot. We could just wear a t-shirt and walk around. And the second week, they actually had a really bad storm, and it was like fire and stuff. And for that week, I definitely recommend people should bring windbreakers, some strong umbrellas because it can get quite windy. Bring some boots, like rain boots or something. So what I knew about Cape Town before I went was like I always heard it was like beautiful, and I seen like snippets of it. But when you're actually there, it's like insane. Like you go to the beaches and you're like, wow, like, this is incredible. And what you can witness is two very different like kind of cultures, and they coming together. And you can go to like two very different things. Like you can go down the street and you can interact with 5 different cultures on one street, and you can go to a different pub, you can go to an Irish, you can go to South African. So I think just like that mixture of culture is really cool to experience, and I do recommend everyone that does go there to try out as many things as they can. Cape Town itself is surrounded by, well, it basically surrounds Table Mountain, which is quite impressive. And as part of the trip, you will get to go there. And then there's another hill, and it goes to another smaller mountain, but also amazing, called Lionshead. So we actually hiked up Lionshead, which was about 2 hours. So I also recommend doing that. So like the scenery itself and like the landscape is amazing. Like you will not get enough of it. So I think for a lot of people, they might be confused about what the course actually is and whether or not they require like business experience. So I never taken a business course. I took one short course about everything that's related. And to my surprise, like first day of class, the professor was like, okay, it's fine. You haven't taken any business courses. That's not a problem. We had students from Rahman, we had students from like maths. So we had a mixture of students, some with experience in business and some not. And I think that's really important for when you go there, because when you are actually there, when you're working with the clients there, you need those different aspects. Like you need the engineering skills and you need the business skills to all come together to come up with better solutions. So don't be afraid to try it. I really think that it will be beneficial to your education, as well as it's a 1 credit. So if you are in an engineering program and you're working on a business minor, it does count towards that as well.